Right before we jump into this video, if you want to take better pictures in only 11 days, I created a video series just for you that is absolutely free. Head on over to froknosphoto.com/11 days to sign up right now. Jared Polin, froknosphoto.com, and welcome to 3 Shots or Less, where I go into different situations and scenarios to try to get the perfect exposure in 3 shots or less. So for this scenario, we have an extremely backlit subject right here, which some of you guys may find yourself in from time to time, where you have a really harsh light in the background and you want to put your subject in front of it, but you're not sure how to get the best exposure. So being that we're outside, let's start by building the exposure. People always say in bright sunlight, drop your ISO all the way as low as it could go. In this case, with the Nikon D3300, I'm gonna drop it down to 100 ISO and build the exposure based off of what the meter tells me it should be. So let me lower this to 100 ISO, take a look through the camera. I'm at f4, and at 1/800th of a second, it says this is the proper exposure. Let's take the picture. Let's take a look, and right here you can see that the subject is pretty dark compared to the background. The camera's meter is reading for everything, and in this case, telling me that the subject should be lit right or exposed properly, but they're not. So how are we gonna build the proper exposure now in just 2 more shots? So the first thing I'm going to do is let more light in by cutting down on the shutter speed. In this case, let's dial down to 1/400th of a second, which is 1 stop, and see how that looks. Line it up, take the photo, and now let's take a look, and it's much better. You can see that we can see Todd's face better by cutting down on the shutter speed, by letting more light in. Now, in certain situations, you may want to use a flash to balance the foreground and the background, but in this case, this is just about building the perfect exposure with the natural light around us. So for the third and final shot, what I'm gonna do is let a little bit more light in by cutting down on the shutter speed again. Let's go to 1/250th of a second and see how that looks. Lock this in, take the shot, take a look, and that is much better. So as you can see, you can't always rely on the meter to tell you what the proper exposure should be. Now, we started by listening to the meter, but we know that the meter wasn't right. So this is all about building the exposure around that. So if you feel more confident starting with what the meter tells you you should start at and then tweaking from there, by all means do that. I'm a big fan of jumping into a situation, just guessing the exposure triangle and then tweaking from there. But you saw how this happened. We had a dark image, we wanted to let more light in because he's totally backlit. We went ahead and did that, we tweaked it a second time, and we basically got the best exposure we could for the situation we're in right here. So if there's a situation or scenario you would like to see us photograph, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and that's where we'll leave it. Jared Polin, froknosphoto.com. See ya.
Subscribe now! Watch this video.